All right. Okay, so tonight we're going to work on the two leaves at the bottom, which are these two right there. So to do that, we have sap green, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow light, and a bit of brown, raw umber or burnt umber. Doesn't matter which one. So I'm mixing for now yellow ochre and sap green. That will give me a very toned down kind of green. And I can take, just kind of by looking at the leaf, simple green. And I'm using a round brush. You can use any brush you like. Okay, I'm going to put it all over the leaf, and then I will highlight where I see strong light. So tomorrow the weather is going to be better?
I think it's going to get a little bit better every day. I think it's still cold tomorrow, though.
It's going to be cold tomorrow, too?
I think, yeah. But I think it's going to get mild by the weekend. Maybe Friday.
So, I can't walk the dog? Can I walk the dog?
Tomorrow?
I haven't walked him for 2 days.
Oh, really?
Did you add yellow light to this mixture?
No. Just sap green.
Just the yellow ochre?
Yellow ochre and sap green. Yeah. So I'm putting the first layer. And then I'll highlight over that. This layer needs more than one. Okay. Now I can take some yellow, cadmium yellow light. Tell me if you want me to slow down, to wait a bit, if I'm going too fast.
This may be a few minutes.
All right, before I start highlighting, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. No problem. I'll stop. Okay. For now, so now what we're going to do is take the same combination, yellow ochre, sap green, and cadmium yellow light to highlight it. And also what we're going to do is add a little bit of burnt umber in there. Touch. See, like I'm pushing my brush in. Let's add a little bit more of the cadmium yellow light and burnt umber. So the green is there, but all I'm doing is I'm making the color a little bit more brown. And that is for this part. Oh, geez, that's a lot. This part right here. And now I'm going to go back to, actually, while I'm doing this, I'll do this one here, because this is a perfect color for the one next to it. So I mixed yellow ochre, sap green, and then I added cadmium yellow light and a bit of brown in there, burnt umber that I have here. Again, and then I increase the amount of cadmium yellow light, and then again burnt umber in it. So it gives me like a greenish, yellowish color. If I don't use the burnt umber, then it will be too bright. I'm using burnt umber to tone it down, tone the color down. Okay. I think I have enough highlights in here. Now I'm going to bring some green again. Just push some sap green in there, in that mixture. And I'm going to soften this a little bit. All right, that's good. Stick again, sap green, a little bit of burnt umber, and give this part so the leaf looks like it's bending. Tiny bit of more, a little bit of more highlights. So, meaning that I'm adding a tiny bit of more of the yellow in the green. All of this yellow, when I add yellow, it needs to be mixed with some of the greens and the browns. Otherwise, it's too strong. Wow, there's a really strong shadow underneath this one. Okay. Let's see how we're going to get this. All right, before I do anything, I'm just going to take some brown, just burnt umber. I have here burnt umber, just burnt umber on my brush. And actually, you know what? I'm going to use a smaller brush, round brush, smaller. Again on this one here as well. I'm going to try to use green and burnt umber and try to give this part darker shadow right here. And exactly the same again. Technically, I should be using the same color of the background or to do this here. I just don't want to mix it. I'll just use brown. It'll be fine. I'm just darkening the shadow underneath the leaf. Oh, all right. There's a little bit of a kind of a tail for this leaf. Voila. Brown, a little bit of brown. I'm just kind of touching it up like a really, really soft brush stroke. Just to make this leaf look like it's bending and there's a strong shadow over there on it. Okay. Sometimes you have to clean your brush, start, dip it in water, because if the paint is drying on the brush, it's going to be hard to work with it. All right. Yellow, cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre. Give this part a touch of highlight. And this part too. Let's do this here too. A little bit of highlight in here. And I can see there at the bottom of this leaf, there are a couple of very thin brown lines coming out. We can put them or we can just ignore them, but let's put them. Try. If we don't like them, we could remove them. Also, there's a kind of a bend in this leaf here, which is nice. Makes it more natural looking. All right. We're good. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the bowl right here. And we're going to use, I'm going to use Prussian blue. Now, you can use any color you like, any blue you like, but as long as this color, whatever you use, make it more earthy because of the, background colors, and it's a bit, we used browns in here, in the backgrounds and in the leaves, those leaves. So I'm using Prussian blue. I'm going to put in it raw umber. You can use burnt umber as well, but raw umber is much nicer with blue. It will not change the color. It will just make it more earthy. So we have raw umber. Here we go. And I'm going to use white, a little bit of white, not much, because we want this bowl to look dark. Okay, so let's put this here. Bring this in. And I have a bright, so I am going to mix my burnt umber with the Prussian blue. So when I highlight it, you'll see the color. It's a beautiful blue. That's like a grayish blue because of the raw umber in it. Otherwise, it'll be too strong. It's a very nice grayish blue. All right, let's try first to go with a little bit dark. Let's say this combination that has the Prussian blue and raw umber with a little bit of white, not much, because it's going to dry darker. That's why I'm adding a little bit of white. Okay. And then we will highlight. Any reflection, any highlight that we need to add, we will do that after. Okay. I will have to turn this around for a minute. So I can get the shape of the round shape of the ball on the side. Right, so now I'm not sure where this ball ends. If it's longer than this at the bottom or shorter, I'm not sure because I can't tell from but that's okay. All right, now let's put the blue, same blue in, and I can see the one inside. The one inside here, inside the ball, is quite dark.
So you're just using blue?
No, blue and brown, same.
Oh.
Blue and brown. But I didn't put any white in it. Just these two colors. Okay, so now I'm going to add white. And you see, once you add white, you can see the color. You can see that if it's tipping more towards the brown or the blue. So I want it to be more on the brown side because it's kind of a earthy kind of color of porcelain, and it will look much better with the background color too, whatever is behind it. Okay, again, let's see how I'm going to do that. Let's see if this color is bright enough. Yes, it is.
So the line is lighter.
Yes.
With white.
Yes,
right?
yes. Prussian blue, raw umber, and white.
Yes.
I have a feeling that this needs to be slightly in. It's too much right here. So I'm just going to try to remove some of this paint, blue paint, and change the shape of the ball from the outside, only here. I think I took it in too much. Or out, actually, too much. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to wash my hands and come back, because I can't touch anything. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the rim now, and I can see that the highlight is stronger on the side here. And over here, because of the light, add a little bit more white in here. It will dry darker. And when it dries, if I find that it's too light, then I can glaze it. When I glaze it, I can tone it down at that point. Now, the challenge is not actually the color, this shape. Just to get it to look round is a challenge.
And even.
And even, yes. But you know what? We'll do our best.
It's handmade.
I was just gonna say that too.
Handmade, yes. I like that. I like that. It's handmade.
It's
Yes.
organic. It's organic.
Yeah, it's actually more expensive because it's handmade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's drying darker again, so I'm going to add more white, a little bit of water so the brush slides easily. And I'll start from here. And then just let it go darker over here on this side. And just kind of highlight here. Okay, that's good. All right, let's highlight or give the bottom of the bowl a little bit of a shape, or not shape, sorry, reflection or movement or something in here, because it's, so if I take a little bit of this highlighted color right here and I add it to the main color of the bowl, which is what do we use? We use Prussian blue and raw umber in white. So I'm going to add a little bit of white and just kind of give this part a little bit of a highlight. That looks like a reflection of the light bouncing off this surface into the bowl. And this is actually what's happening. And again, we don't want it to be, we don't want to do too much here. Keep it simple.
Sorry, Lael, what colors were you using there?
I'm using the same colors, Prussian blue, raw umber, and I'm putting a bit of white in it. Same colors.
Okay.
Yeah, just a bit of white. Okay. You don't need to do much. But I think what we need to do is darken this part at the bottom here, where the bowl sits on the surface. It needs to be darkened a bit. So I know we used, if we get the color of the surface again that we used black, burnt umber, and white, right?
Mm-hmm.
So gray and brown. I have a bit of ivory black here, and I'm using the brown, and I have white, so I don't think we need, I don't know, here, let's see. We need, I don't want to use black and brown only, but you know what we can use for this? We can use Prussian blue and burnt umber, and that will give me a really good black instead of ivory black. Okay, let's see. Really good. Wow. Dark. Perfect. Yeah, Prussian blue and black, Prussian blue and brown is perfect. What do I have here?
You use burnt umber for the bottom part, but raw umber for the other?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Raw umber for the blue, and for the bottom part, I use Prussian blue and burnt umber. Because blue, you know, when you use burnt umber and ultramarine blue, you mix them together, you get almost black, like a black. It's a really nice black. And at the same time, if you add white to that color, you will get a beautiful gray. So it's a great combination to, instead of using ivory black, to use these two colors.
The Prussian blue and raw umber?
For now, it's Prussian blue and burnt umber.
And burnt umber.
Yes.
For the shadow.
Yes. And just push the shadow away. Don't put, not all the way, just a bit, kind of. Not all the way underneath. You see here, there's a bit of, I stopped right there. Yeah. You don't have to put it all the way. Okay, so to do the rim, to soften the rim, that's what I did here. I softened this rim. Instead of having the highlight hitting the highlight right next to the dark, I'm adding a layer of mid-tone, and I'm going to do it right now. Like right here, mid-tone. Let's put some water. Yes, it dries fast, I know. So this is acrylics. So I'm just going to soften the transition or darken the transition between the light and dark of the bowl, inside of the bowl. I'll push that out into the bowl a bit, this transition, darker. It's okay. I can always then go back and correct it. And now I'm going to take highlight, the same color but with more white. And I'm just going to put it here. And this way, I will get a soft edge. So instead of having a really dark blue hitting the highlight, the strong highlighted area, I am creating a soft edge in between, a buffer in between. So it doesn't look like sharp line in there. Right here. And this is just raw umber, Prussian blue, and white. Just by adding a tiny bit of, or another layer of mid-tone, this edge, this rim is softer. Okay, so we're done for tonight. Next week we'll work on the leaves on this side, and we'll see how it goes. And then after, we'll start working on the pomegranates.